Okay, ladies and gents, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the AI Analyzer tool. It's basically broken into two steps, okay? When we click Start, it's going to crawl our LinkedIn Boolean search. So you can see over here I'm looking for an accountant in Sydney. It's going to basically go through, crawl a specified number of profiles that I've given it. In this case, it will be 2. And it's going to download those profiles into a folder. So when we click Open, we can actually see this is an accounting folder that I've put together and specified. And it's got a whole series of candidate information in there. So we're going to click Start and go into that, and then I'll talk you through exactly what it's doing as it's doing it. So let's click Start. So this is part 1. This is what we call the parsing stage. As you can see, it's rushing through all the different profiles in the Boolean search. It's going to do that for one page only because we've nominated 2 profiles to download. So it doesn't need to go through all 400 search results because it knows it only needs 2. So one page will be plenty to get the right profiles. In this case, it's gone over to Mr. Fatty. He's a mechanical engineer. Boy, that guy shouldn't be in this. There must be something wrong with my Boolean searching. Then again, he's put junior accountant as one of his jobs. Maybe that's why. But look, putting that aside, it's it's just at this stage doing the crawling and downloading. The second part, which is analyze local files, which you can see over here on the right hand side, that's the interesting part. That's where we use AI to basically determine who is and who isn't a relevant candidate. So I have a feeling Fardy at that point might get cut out of the shortlist. All right, sweet. So it's already gone to Fardy and it's passed his profile. Passed is just a technical IT word, fancy word for basically copy and download. Okay, so I mentioned over here they've got the different folders that we have. You can see the different profiles. Fardy will be in there, and very shortly, Evie should be in there as well. Okay, perfect. So how many files do we have in here in total? Wow, we've got 20. All right, perfect. So now we're going to go over to step 2. So I'm going to go straight into it and talk you through what it's doing as it's doing it. All right, so it's passing the 20 profiles that were in that folder. And now it's going through the criteria and using AI to determine who's going to be a suitable and unsuitable candidate for us. There's 2 AI models I mentioned earlier. DeepSeek is extremely cheaper than ChatGPT, but it takes much longer. So for the purpose of the demo, obviously I don't want to sit around for a couple of minutes, boring you out of your mind. I wanted to use ChatGPT because it's a lot quicker. In my experience, ChatGPT is a lot more literal as well, particularly the 4O model. So if your hiring manager is very specific about the criteria, you want to actually be using ChatGPT. If you're a little bit lenient and there's a limited candidate market out there, don't be afraid to use the DeepSeek because it's 80 to 90% as good as ChatGPT in terms of results and significantly cheaper. All right, so it's already completed in a couple of seconds. It's gone through those 20 profiles and created a report for us, which we'll go through shortly. Just before I go into the report, I want you to talk about what it was actually doing. So we asked ChatGPT in this case, we actually briefed ChatGPT, I should say. We're looking for a public practice accountant. We've given it this job description. We've given it very specific criteria. So candidates to qualify, they've got to have 1 year accounting experience, CPA or CA qualified, and have a degree or master's in accounting. We don't want anyone who's never worked in Australia, okay? We don't want anyone who's not currently based in Sydney. All right, so that's our criteria. What we can actually do now is open this file and reveal our report. Okay, cool. So qualified prospects. We've actually got 4 in here. Now, to end up as qualified, you're going to have to hit all these criteria here. Okay, so you're going to have at least a year accounting experience, be CPA or CA qualified, and have a degree in accounting or an accounting related degree. And you can't hit any of these disqualification attributes over here. Okay, so that out of the 20, there's only 4 in this case that are ready to be processed for outreach. So what you could potentially do is copy these URLs here, and you could come over to outreach, which I have a separate video on, and you could open that file, copy paste them in there, and it will basically work on going through those different profiles and doing the outreach method channels of your choice. So you could tell it to go through, for example, in-mails, SMS, or send invitations with or without notes. But going back to the actual report, there's 3 categories. So qualified, we talked about that earlier. We've also got unqualified and disqualified. Disqualified, these are candidates not worth looking at. Okay, these are profiles of candidates that hit the disqualification criteria, and don't really hit much of the qualifying criteria. Unqualified is kind of like your maybe candidates, okay? So potentially they hit some of the attributes here in qualifying, but may have hit one of the disqualifying criterias. Potentially they just don't have enough information on their profile to qualify. So it's ambiguous. Maybe they do have some of the things that we're looking for, they just haven't specified it. Okay, so unqualified, if you're really desperate for candidates, this might need some human intervention to look into these individually. But the best part is we have some commentary from the actual AI that can help you on whether or not deciding you want to invest some of your time individually. Okay, so you'll notice with Gary, Guatam, Mei Ying, and Priscilla, they all scored 100%. Okay, and the reason they scored 100% is because we delivered specific weightings for each of the qualifying attributes. In the case of the degree, because it was an entry level role for a graduate, that was the most important thing, and that's worth 50%. The year of accounting experience, the hiring manager for this particular role wasn't too crazy about that. It was even open to someone who's just done a couple of internships for a few months, but I wanted to raise the bar and make that a year. Likewise for the CPA or CA. So you'll actually see in this instance, all the candidates hit the qualification criteria there. The ones that are unqualified are the ones worth looking at. Okay, so in this case, Abhishek, he hit 75%, so he's got the degree, his CPA, but doesn't really have the experience, at least not a year anyway, in Australia. Crystal hits two of the criterias. Currently working in Australia, has the degree, but not CPA or CA. So again, you can read this and decide whether or not it's worth doing a deep dive. So this particular report is instructions that we're fed to the AI, and we call this the standard headhunters format. I like it because, like I said, I can just copy paste the qualified prospects, put them straight into Outreach. If I'm desperate, I'll look at the unqualified commentary and I'll make a decision whether I want to do a deep dive into them. If you want the AI to arrange and analyze the candidate profiles differently, if you have different criterias, if you want the information presented differently in the text format, you can actually just click over here, users custom instructions, and you can basically feed the AI and tell it exactly what you want. Okay, you might not even want them to give you qualified, unqualified. You might say, give me a 250 character summary on each of the profiles and how they measure up against the criteria. Could be something simple like that, or it could be something longer, up to 8,000 characters. Okay, cool. So that's a quick overview of the AI Analyzer. This is a great way to save yourself time instead of going through, hundreds of pages of Boolean searches and looking at each individual profile, going into the experience section and other sections, trying to see if they hit the criteria. You can basically automate this whole process and work out a very good unbiased shortlist using AI. Thank you very much for your time in watching this video. What you can do if you have any questions, I'm going to post this on YouTube. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If it's a common question, I'll just reply publicly so everyone else can see it. If you have a question that you prefer to keep private, you can send us an email at sales@head-hunters.vip, or you can go on our website and put an inquiry through there. Thank you very much for your time and happy recruiting.